Well, the Brian Bayo experiment has failed, and it failed spectacularly. What an atrocious game for the Boston Red Sox. And I think the offense was bad, but they actually got some runs. They got a run in the sixth and a run in the ninth, and a couple of hits in this one. But Brian Bello pretty much cost this Red Sox team the game. I mean, he was terrible in this one. They kept him in for quite a while. They kind of left him out to hang out to dry, pretty much. They just absolutely just was atrocious. The Red Sox kind of just kept him in and kind of exposed him, and that was kind of the bottom line here in this one, and rightfully so. They saw this one, saw this performance from Brian Bello, and said, "Bye bye, you're gone. You're going to Worcester." He has been brought down to Worcester. Just an absolutely horrendous performance for Brian Bello. Hopefully, he can get his stuff back in Worcester. That's all I'm gonna say there. Hopefully, because if he doesn't, he's gone. They're gonna cut him loose. So we'll go over this game again. An atrocious start for Brian Bello, and that's gonna be it for him for quite a while, I think, here in Boston. And he'll be in Worcester, and we'll see what he does in Worcester. See if he can get what he had in the past back. Because a lot of this game, he did well. It was just the first inning. That first inning was atrocious. And then he also gave up a couple of runs in the fifth as well. So that first and the fifth inning as well, atrocious stuff. He was disgustingly bad in this one. So we'll see what happens with Brian Bello in Worcester, but he was brought down to Worcester, rightfully so. Rightfully so. They left him in. They left him in there for way too long. And this was kind of a statement. Just kind of hanging him out to dry, pretty much. Just saying, either you figure it out in the innings that we give you, which was 5 innings, or we bring you down to Worcester. And he didn't figure it out, obviously. And he's going down to Worcester. And actually, they just acquired a reliever as well from Pittsburgh, who is going to be coming down here. I don't know his name, but they got him. They required him for cash as well in exchange for cash. So Pittsburgh gets cash, and we get another reliever here for the team. Kalane also picked up contract as well by the Red Sox. Kalani will be coming down here to Boston. So there's a lot of moves that are happening for sure. We're still waiting on some of these other pitchers to come back. Garrett Crochet, it's going to be a while before Garrett Crochet comes back. It's going to be a while before some of these other guys come back. Sandoval. So I mean, it's we're in a tough spot. The Boston Red Sox are in a tough spot. June is probably not going to go the way it did last year. We are in for a tough June, unfortunately. But yeah, Brian Bello was terrible, and I'm glad he's down in Worcester now. Because he was atrocious. He was really, really bad. Let's go over the stats here. Done rambling here about how bad the Boston Red Sox are. Let's go over the stats here of this game. 8 runs on 10 hits for the Baltimore Orioles. 2 runs on 7 for Boston. Let's go over the stats here in this one. Starting off with the Orioles, Ward with a run and 3 hits. Also an RBI in this one. No home runs. I mean, that at least that's a positive. No home runs for the Orioles, so at least that's a positive in this one. Henderson, he had 1 run in this game and a walk. Rauschman had a hit and an RBI in this one. Alonso with a run and 2 hits and a walk. Balsalo had 2 runs, a hit, and an RBI and a walk. Travares, he had a run, a hit, and an RBI. Cowser with a run, a hit, and an RBI and a walk. Mayo with a run, a hit, and 3 RBIs. Mayo did very well in this one. 2 walks for Holiday. Again, no home runs for the Orioles in this one. Rauschman has reached 31 RBIs now on the year for Baltimore. Jarren Duran, crickets. Jarren Duran, after being good in a few games, absolutely terrible in this one. Raffaello, 1 run, 1 hit. Abreu had a hit in this one, also a walk. A home run for Contreras, along with a run and 2 hits and 2 RBIs. IKF, nothing going for IKF. Nothing really going for Monasterio except for 1 hit. Siegler did show up in this one. As I mentioned, Anthony Siegler, he got called up. And he pitched hit in this one. A couple of at-bats. He didn't do much at all in this one. Durbin had 1 hit in this game, and he's still very cold, in my opinion. Narvaez, nothing going, and Wong had 1 hit in this one. So there you go. The pitchers. Do I have to talk about him? Brian Bello, 2-6 record, 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 8 runs, 8 earned. Walked 3, struck out 4. Again, first and fifth innings, terrible. Everything else, not horrible. But again, Boston they just totally threw him under the bus. They totally left him out to dry. Hung about to dry in this one. Absolutely atrocious for Bello. 5 innings. He should have been thrown out after the first inning. But Boston didn't want to risk having to pitch 5 or 6, 7 guys in this game. They left him in way too long and cost the Red Sox the game. But Brian Bello is to blame here. Brian Bello's that's basically what the issue is. Brian Bello cost us this game. 6 runs, really hard to come back from. And then they added 2 more. Again, it wasn't a complete disaster. I was expecting a complete disaster. I was expecting the second, the third, and the fourth innings to be horrible for Brian Bello as well. Once I was watching that first inning, but oh boy, it was bad that first inning. But he's now 2-6 on the year. He's done in Boston, probably for a while. He's going to be in Worcester for quite a while, probably a couple of weeks, several weeks maybe, unless there's major injuries here, and then they'll have to call him back up. Probably reluctantly, they'll have to call him back up if that happens. But again, he's gotta fix whatever is going on. It's something mentally with Brian Bello. I don't know what it is, but it's mental. In his head, something's up there. With just getting into issues. When he gets into trouble, he just can't get out of it. So it's something mental. It's something mental, I guess. But we'll see what Brian Bello does in Worcester, and hopefully it's much better than this, because that is a total disaster. And having a pitching performance like that's not going to win you many games. Again, 2-6 on the year, not great. 6.34 ERA. He's terrible, absolutely terrible stuff there. Giovanni Moran came in after that, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk. He struck out 3. Not bad as well from Moran. Moran did pretty well in this game. And then Kalani, as I mentioned, came in his first appearance in a Boston Red Sox uniform, and pretty solid. 2 hits, giving up 2 walks. He got a strikeout. 34 pitches, 19 strikes, 2 innings pitched. Very solid stuff for Kalani Moran. It's just Bello. Bello was not good, and there you go. Again, Worcester. We will see what happens over there for him in his first start there in Worcester. I don't know when it's going to be. Probably next week, I would assume. So, we'll figure it out, I guess, as we go along there in the Worcester series. All right, the Orioles and their pitching. 3-6 record now for Rogers, who was also pretty equally terrible coming into this game. Rogers for the Orioles, he was bad at a lot of his starts. But Brian Bello was terrible in that first inning, and that really calmed Rogers down because he had a really solid performance here. 5.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, a walk. He struck out 3. Cano came in after that, and I was listening to the um, WEI broadcast, and they were really high on this guy, Yaner Kano. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. But he is one of Orioles' better relievers. And he showed up to clean up the end of that 5th inning there. End of the 6th inning there for Rogers. He did a very good job at that. 1 pitch, that was it, and that was it for him. He was done after that. But he did his job, which was cleaning up what Rogers had accumulated in that 6th inning. Wells came in after that, 1 inning pitched with 1 strikeout, and 1 hit for Aiken in 1 inning, and Kitteridge had an inning with a hit, a run, an earned run, a K, and a home run given up for Kitteridge. So home run given up late there for the Orioles, but 33,180 people attended this atrocious disaster of a game at Fenway. This was an afternoon game. 2 hours and 42 minutes for the game. They are going to be in New York to take on a very good New York Yankees team who might be without Judge. I don't know what's going on there, but he might not play in this series or something. That's what I've been hearing. But this was a longer game breakdown. But there was many thoughts I had about Brian Bello and Brian Bayo and the Red Sox as they now drop to 26 and 35 on the year after game number 61 here. What an atrocious game. I hope that the Boston Red Sox can kind of bounce back and do better. But boy, this game performance doesn't give me much hope for a good month here for the Red Sox and really a good rest of the season for the Red Sox. They got to make some really big moves at the trade deadline if this team wants to get better. We will see what happens. All right, bye-bye, everybody.